You know, it's an honor and a privilege to work here. I was talking to the mayor today and talked to Gary a week or two ago, and I tell you, I've been here 7 months, and I wouldn't change a thing about being here in this community. It's really welcomed me and stuff, and the great group of people that we have, the volunteers that we have, and so forth, and seeing the Boy Scouts here even is a win. It's great for the community. It's great for everybody. Just a few slides we'll go over from last year, 2014. Of course, I came in late August, so this will kind of cover the whole year, I hope. Maybe not. There we go. Let's do that way. Volunteer, the MVFD membership continues to provide manpower at the response levels matched by very few. And what that basically means is nobody in the state of Idaho or probably across the country can match what we do for the number of calls we do and the type of calls we run. As you can see down here, the membership averages about 101 members throughout the whole year. A lot of those folks, probably 30 to 40 of them, possibly go back and forth between being an EMT on the ambulance and also on one of the fire companies. So they wear dual hats and are dual roles to provide service, and that's one of the benefits we have is the cross-training of a lot of folks. In 2014, we ran 1,763 calls on the EMS side. Now that's patient contacts. That's, for example, if we run a motor vehicle accident and we have five patients, that's five individual contacts. Typically it's one person, but on average we run over 1,700. The fire side of the house, which includes the city and the rural, which is 1,068, and this year the rural actually take out about 150 of those. The rest of those are the city. So it's easier to group them together, and you'll see why here in a minute. As most of you know, the Volunteer Fire Department is a corporation, non-for-profit. It is operated and functions on a 10-member board, which I serve as the president/CEO of the board of directors, non-voting other than in the event of a tie or otherwise. Station 1 is owned and maintained and operated by the volunteers. Now, obviously, the city does house city equipment in Station 1. Station 2 is jointly owned by the city and the volunteer corporation, and Station 3 is solely owned by the city. 3 bays in Station 3 are leased by the rural for 3 rural trucks. The rural fire district also owns a building at or near right next to Station 2 over on White Avenue. Volunteers provides the community with a significant savings of tax dollars for fire suppression each year. The savings that we get, and I really don't like throwing out numbers, but I can assure you that it's a significant amount of dollars that the city actually saves by the service that we provide with the volunteers that we have. There's a lot of organizations around the country that would be very envious to have 101 members in a lot of different aspects. Probably a lot of civic organizations that would love to have 50 members of anything. So the Volunteer Fire Department contracts with the city for the manpower, and then the city provides the management and owns the fire apparatus and equipment, and that's a majority of them. However, the ambulance company of the corporation actually operates 100% on their own and is self-sustaining, which means that they buy their own equipment, they replace their own vehicles. Everything is owned by the corporation and the ambulance company. As it says down there, they own 4 ambulances right now. One of them is actually currently finishing up, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to be remounted this year. I think before winter, is that not correct, Dan? I believe. So hopefully before football season comes around, because I believe it's going to have the theme of the Moscow Bears this time. So we have a Vandal, that's an ambulance, so now we're going to have a Bear. The rural fire district owns and maintains its own equipment for the rural, however the members are shared. And what that means is we have 100 volunteers. We share members of the volunteer corporation with the rural fire district. And basically the folks just have to apply and then they get accepted, and there's extra training for that, meaning for wildland and rural operations, because the operations are a little bit different outside the city, meaning that water supply and some of the strategies and tactics are different in the rural versus in the city. The student resident program started in 1948. It's maintained as a expense of the volunteers, a volunteer resident firefighter program. There's 24 right now that's currently here. 2 of them are graduating this year. So we'll have very little turnover for this next school year. That's actually the current. That picture is currently the current members. They run both fire and EMS calls, mostly on the engine. However, several of the resident folks are actually members of the ambulance company, so they actually respond in an ambulance, depending on if there's another one out or how busy it is. The program provides the community with staffing on the evenings and the weekends during the school year, as well as, since I've been here this year, significantly during the day when they don't have class and other things and studying going on. They'll actually, 3 or 4 of them will jump on an engine and go to a call, just like earlier today. So it's not uncommon to do that. Response times. This is one of the things that we're working on. That's why you're not going to really see a number of what our response times are. You'll see on the next page that we changed our records management system January 1. So we're working through some challenges and some struggles of how we're tracking and how we're changing some things. But I just wanted to show you the standard that's out there today. This is not necessarily a requirement. However, it's a national standard that is out there based for volunteer fire departments, organization deployment of fire suppression operations. You can see here in the demographics that the population for Moscow per square mile is 3,989 based on the city data that I found on citydata.com. And basically we fall within the urban, so at least according to this, and our minimum staffing should be 15, or response time minutes should be 9, and we should meet that objective 90% of the time. And basically what that means when we get there, we should have about 15 people. And I can tell you from, I think, the fire out in Viola a little over a week ago, I believe they had every bit of 15, if not 20 to 22 people out there. So again, that's an extended response time, but just that is an example of recent history. So we're going to look at how we mold and fit this into our model and see what we can do to achieve or get close to some of the standards that are out there. We're never going to meet all the standards. However, it's something to strive for. And that's kind of the way I look at a lot of the standards is, hey, this is where we're going, and this is maybe how we can get there and find where we can make improvements. Again, changing the records management system. We implemented it in January 1. Again, it's met some challenges just because it's new. It's a change. However, we're going to capture different data. We're going to actually specifically capture dispatch time, turnout time, which means from the time that the tone goes off and when they get done speaking, means that once that wheel turns on that engine or that truck or that ambulance, that's when the time starts. And that's our stops. That's our turnout time. Response time is the time that it takes from the time that wheel turns to the time that we get to the fire or to the scene, wherever that may be. And we're going to track each of that individually by unit, turnout time and response time. So each engine will have a turnout time, each engine will have a response time, because different variations of when people respond and how many respond. So we'll be tracking units responding, personnel responding, and then the total time, which, if you go back to the other slide, the 9 minutes, that would be the total time if we use this. Which, like I said, we're not there. We're not even close to being there. But like I said, it's a goal, and we're going to just see where we're at, and then we're going to see how we can see what we can do. Track our incident types a little better than what we have, and also for safety reasons, track exposures. Who's been on what fires? And that's all data down the road, 10, 15, 20 years from now, if somebody gets cancer and so forth. And we're going to be looking at some other things down the road to that we actually see at a show that we went to here a week ago. Maybe to even track that even on a higher level, because we want to be able to protect our people and make sure we're getting them the help or the help they need if they need us. To be an EMT basic in the state of Idaho, it requires at least 110 hours of training. I think we do more than that. To be internationally Fire Service accredited for a Fire 1 and Fire 2 program, which we just finished up, I want to thank the mayor and Gary for coming out to speak at the graduation. It means a lot. I know it meant a lot to the guys and gals. But we did over 240 hours of training stuff between January 13th and April 9th. So 2 nights a week, 4 weekends. Was a long three months, but we achieved a lot, and the guys and gals did a great job. We also conduct thousands of hours each year, and last year we did over 9,000 hours collectively between all members, all 100, over 9,000 hours if we added them all up. So we have the training, we have the ability to achieve a lot, and we have achieved a lot. But we're going to continue to provide, some continuing education when we can, training new recruits, and just offer as many courses and classes as we can. Projects, upgrade to Station 1's emergency generator, just like I think you guys talked about at the last council meeting. Install an apparatus exhaust removal system for safety. We're going to look at that for Station 1 with the volunteers, either a fan system or a poly vent type system. We did purchase what's called an event calendar and sign up, and basically that'll allow our folks to be able to sign up for like the U of I football games, the basketball games, the Bears football games. Heck, there's multitude of events that go on every weekend almost that we go to. Polo or rugby, I think, lacrosse. We have people stand by for all those. I want to thank Gary too for doing retreats with us for the board and the command staff. Kind of helps us move forward and how we're gonna address some things going forward. So, and that's a big deal. I'm glad we're doing that. Hopefully down the road we're going to update some policies, procedures, and guidelines and so forth as we go forward. We're going to extend more classes offerings. One of my goals is maybe in the next year is to offer in-house an associate's degree for all the fire courses through LCSC or Eastern Idaho, to be able to offer those classes for our folks, so they'll actually be able to get dual degrees while they're going to the University of Idaho. Also certification courses, the Fire 1, Fire 2 program is one, instructor, all those type of courses that a lot of folks want to take. This is just some of the community outreach that we do. High school graduation, sober graduation, Gritman Medical Center. You see us out a lot, and this is why. I can't thank Joe enough for the time he spends on putting a lot of this stuff together with all the volunteers that want to come out and work together to do it. As you know, October is Fire Prevention Month. Actually, there's Fire Prevention Week, which is the first full week of October. But we celebrate it the entire month just because we have a lot of kids to get to in the schools, and it just takes that much time to do it. So hopefully this coming year I can work with Gary to get a proclamation for Fire Prevention Month that we can do come late September. Like I said earlier, the standbys that we do, high school career days, we do station tours on a regular basis. We work with a lot of different agencies. I just had a request today for Gritman for a fire truck ride, a donation that is going to be auctioned off, which we do a lot of those. So it's kind of fun to see the guys, and a lot of folks want to do it. So that's a picture of our extrication class just this year. So with that, if you have any questions.
Well, Chief Nickerson, I want to make a comment on a week ago yesterday. We had the graduation that you presented 18 firefighters with Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2. And it was Class 1, and I was there, of course, as well as Gary. And Dan was there, too, in his fire role, not necessarily the council role, but it was To me, one of the things I spoke about was safety and training. It's been a big thing with me all along, and so I'm very tickled to see that happen, and I think you guys are doing a terrific job with that. Dan, you want to comment at all?
Oh, Chief knows how I feel.
Other counselors, any questions for the chief? Walter?
Mayor, Chief, as council liaison of the fire department last year and this year, I continually am amazed at what the volunteers do. And they do it because they want to do it. They don't do it for pay. They do it because they want to do it. And like I say, they had a little grass fire that was near some buildings on over the weekend, and one of those trucks with the resident firefighters was almost there before the on-duty chief was. So they jump on it. They're excited. They want to do a good job, try to protect the community, and it's really amazing. When you get a structure fire call, there's nobody around here that can turn out 40 bodies to work that like we can, and with the equipment that we've got. So congratulations to you and to all your people. I made a comment to the chief earlier that at that grass fire call, I saw something that I almost wish I'd taken a picture of. It was a firefighter in a pair of turnouts with a blue T-shirt, and I thought the ponytail coming down from the hair above was just really neat. So, you've got male and female out there, and they're both really hard workers, and congratulations.
Thank you again, Chief.
Good job.
Good job.
Very good job.